Hi everyone, hello to all of you and to the session. Please let me know if I am properly audible and visible to all of you. All good to go? Okay. So, um, there we go. A very good evening to all of you once again. For those watching me for the first time, my name is Niharika John Mehta, and here I am with another editorial analysis for you all. Let me quickly share my schedule with you all. These are free classes on YouTube. So 1:30 p.m. we are having EPFO classes here. Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday practice classes for EPFO exam. Then 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday, you get this bang on session where you have grammar, vocabulary, comprehension, every single thing you need to improve your English with respect to your exam. Okay, so this is not me preparing you for literature exam. I'm not going to prepare you for something like an interview because this is not the point. This is for your exams subjective and objective question, descriptive questions जो पूछे जाते हैं. So how you can do better through just one article, that's what we do here. And I want you all to seriously take these classes and make sure you are there on time. When I ask questions, you answer here and likewise. So jaldi se like और share कर दो. We are going to start with skimming. Skimming is reading something in a way where you understand the main message of that content. So your focus must be on the subjects and the verbs of every line. Okay, you should not pronounce each and every word in your mind. Not pronounce. That means no lip sync. You also need not translate everything in your mother tongue. Try to understand things in English itself. Okay, so follow these rules. Treat this as an advertisement. Imagine this is gonna disappear from in front of you in 2 minutes. So how quick you have to focus. Now, when we read variety and when we practice this skill consistently, रोज हम जब ये practice करते हैं, a brain gets trained to focus on important words. तो ये ना practice से आता है. Now you're gonna have a time bound reading here जो आप skimming करोगे and slowly you will see that आपने reading improve करा है, time कम कर लिया, understanding ज़्यादा कर लिया. Okay, and that's what we want. Okay, so all those जो new हैं, we do comprehension exercise here. We do grammar. So I ask some grammar questions and then explain the grammar part of a sentence. I make sure my students learn some new vocabulary daily, and if it is not new, they revise. And then we do some MCQs as well as our error detection question. It's a wholesome session for anyone who is beginner or even advanced level student to keep up with what is required in exam. उस तरीके की इंग्लिश. ठीक है, तो लाइक और शेयर करो और पढ़ना शुरू करो. 2.5 minutes you are going to get. time up. This much time is more than enough for you. I will explain. Now you can cross check if you have well understood the content, the article or not. By the way, ये द हिंदू का editorial article है. Drinking to death. Okay, means that much drinking that it could actually lead to someone's death. On illicit liquor cases. Okay, liquor cases, but what kind of liquor it is? Avaidh, illicit, illegal. Illicit liquor tragedies expose systemic corruption and regulatory failure. So, avaidh daru or maybe toxic liquor, the tragedies that are happening because of this, that's gonna expose the corruption which is in the system, and regulations have failed at what all points. Okay, so author is going to now help us understand how illicit liquor is affecting and to what extent. Often described in media reports as hooch tragedies. So media reports में term है hooch tragedies. It means hooch means in Hindi we say desi sharab, but this is of course the kind of liquor which is not good. Fake liquor, fake alcohol, or spurious liquor cases means the same. Okay, so in the media reports, these are the terms जो कि we get to see the recurring incidents of illicit alcohol poisoning across India. Most recently, near these places, Amritsar, Punjab, which claimed at least 23 lives, follow a grimly familiar pattern of poverty, greed, and regulatory failure. So, an incident happened, 23 people lost their lives because of spurious, fake liquor, toxic, जो नशा करा उन्होंने. And because of that, now we can see there is a pattern. It is nothing new, but there is some similarity जो पहले भी देखी है. Now this shows poverty. This shows why people are greedy after liquor. They don't even would want to check anything, and regulatory failure. Each tragedy is eerily similar. Okay. Now we can see that जो सारी tragedies हैं, ठीक है. Now they are very much similar to the previous one. ऐसा इसमें नहीं होता है कि कुछ नया एकदम मिल रहा है. The tragedies have remained the same. Now whenever ildly आप use करते हो, it means in a frightening manner, चौंका देने वाला. It's very odd, okay, but it is very much similar to the previous one. Be it in the terms of socio-economic profile of victims, with respect to the social status, economic status of victims, or motivation of the perpetrators. या फिर perpetrators are those जो कि criminals हैं यहाँ पे जिन्होंने crime करा, वो कर रहे हैं. Here in this case जो नशीली दारू बना रहे हैं वो. The victims are typically poor, so most of the time what is observed that these people who buy fake liquor are mostly poor, daily wage earners, seeking respite, break from the harsh realities of everyday drudgery. Okay, so this is the socio-economic profile. People who are going through hardship, they are working hard and hard, but maybe not earning that much. So such people, poor people, daily wage earners, these are mostly the victims here. They are drawn to the lure of cheap alcohol. उनको cheap alcohol मिलता है और फिर वो रास्ता they want a break. Vulnerability exploited by bootleggers. So this is the weakness of these people, consumers, and इसी का फायदा उठा रहे हैं bootleggers. Now bootleggers are those smugglers, those who are selling, or traffickers, or even the shops which are selling fake liquor, who are at the fag end of a long supply chain. Okay, तो वो supply chain के ऐसे वाले कोने पे है जहाँ पे we don't pay much attention. These illicit brews again is another way to talk about liquor here, often involve dangerous shortcuts. Now shortcuts क्या क्या होते हैं? Incorporating toxic substances such as dead scorpions. Oh wow, this is new to me. So incorporate करना means mix करना toxic चीजें जैसे dead scorpions, to diluting industrial methanol, a poisonous chemical. This is a poisonous chemical that is deceptively similar to the consumable ethanol. आपने अगर chemistry पढ़ी, you know these terms very well. So these people, these bootleggers are brewing illicit, fake, poisonous liquor using these substances which are not meant to be consumed. Methanol easily pilfered and inexpensive. Now, anything which is pilfer or the action of pilfer is छोटे उसमें चुराना. So anything which is stolen but not in large quantity, it's not like a loot. उसे हम pilfer करना बोलते हैं. So methanol आसानी से लोग चुरा लेते हैं इधर से. Okay. It's easily pilfered and it's not even expensive. This becomes a deadly profit source for bootleggers who may misjudge dilution ratios. Now they don't know the ratios, the correct ratio in which it could be given, and which is something that can lead to fatal consequences. Fatal consequences matlab jaan ka jana, deadly. The nexus among bootleggers, the police, and lower level politicians is often apparent. Nexus matlab the point where everything joins, joining point. So this point among bootleggers, police, and lower politicians is often apparent. We can see that. While police negligence in Punjab has led to suspicions, now in Punjab where 23 people lost lives, police negligence could be seen. It is in suspicion. Okay, so it has led to suspensions of some people. These events are more about organized methanol theft. Now author is saying इनको बनाने के लिए methanol चुराना पड़ता है. If it's more about organized theft of this chemical, which the bootlegger is only the last mile operator. Bootlegger is only delivering, he's not making. Methanol is not a drink, it is industrial alcohol, an intermediary in petrochemical industry with extensive downstream use. So what is this? Uska definition hai. It is not to be taken like a drink, it is found in such industry, petrochemical industry, therefore not illicit, except as an ingredient in hooch. Okay, so it is in itself not illicit. It is used in industry, but if it is as it is found as an ingredient in alcohol, in liquor, then it becomes poisonous, and then it becomes also illegal. It is categorized as a class B poison in many states. Class B poisons are controlled toxic substance, but is cheaper than liquor made biologically. So the proper form जिससे liquor बनता है उससे बहुत cheap पड़ता है. That's why these brewers they are using it mostly from molasses. After paying for pilferage from authorized methanol dealers, bootleggers can still make a handsome profit. So even after buying, there is a big margin for those people who are selling, who are मतलब जो बेच रहे हैं, who are trafficking illicit fake liquor, they are gonna make a lot of profit. Legal proceedings in illicit liquor cases often involve murder and attempted murder charges. Now, this is serious. When legal proceedings, we talk about it. In the cases related to fake liquors, it involves murder and murder charges besides those under prohibition law. Yet convictions, as seen in a previous case, 2015 Malwani case, can be elusive. Okay, can be elusive मतलब can be difficult to obtain. Convictions नहीं मिलता है इसमें, proof नहीं मिलता है, तो मे बी कोई पकड़ाई में नहीं आता है. A court acquitted 10 of 14 accused after 9 years. 14 में से 10 को छोड़ दिया. None was found guilty of violating the Poison Act. Poison Act को violate करने का कोई proof ही नहीं मिला. Since methanol production and delivery are interstate affairs, both of these things are interstate affairs, there is a case for a central framework on methanol transport for preventing such pilferage as well as stringent state regulation. So author is saying, first of all, since it is interstate matter, we want a central framework first of all with respect to the transport. Okay, so that this ये जो चोरी हो रही है, this stealing of methanol could be stopped, could be regulated. Second is we want more strict, we want stricter regulations in the state as well. The Poison Act may add teeth to the prosecution's case. Okay, so यहाँ पे जो हम बात कर रहे हैं again it is about कि prosecution का case जो है Poison Act जो है strong बना सकता है, but what is more important is to ensure that the lawmaker enforcer diet is incorruptible. ज़्यादा important क्या है यहाँ? ज़्यादा important यहाँ पे है That dyad means duo, lawmaker and enforcer जो है ये, this duo is incorruptible. इसको कोई करप्ट नहीं कर देगा, यहीं पे करप्शन आ गया तो फिर तो बात ही खत्म. So that illegal methanol distribution is impossible. If this is strong, the lawmaker enforcer pair is strong, फिर तो distribution, illegal distribution impossible है. Eventually, though it is a sorry economic, social, and education situation of victims, eventually these victims are in the state where किसी भी तरीके से उनको पता नहीं है, मदद नहीं मिल रही है. That creates a market. Because of such victims, nothing can be done about them. They are in need of the substance, and that's why there is a market for unscrupulous agents to make money. Okay, so these unscrupulous means immoral. इनका कोई ईमान नहीं है हिंदी में अगर आप समझते हो तो. This can only be eradicated by tackling poverty, social inequality, and lack of access to education. So author is saying another thing here कि poverty पे काम करें, अगर inequality को मिटाएं, access this education को सिखाएं लोगों को फर्क क्या है, that may help alongside systemic corruption within law enforcement. Okay, so we have to tackle system level पर things, we have to tackle victim level पर things. वो हमारा passage बोल रहा है. Cool. Chalo. Some vocabulary we will see, and then I will ask you some questions. Bad headache. Illicit is कुछ भी जो अवैध होता है, गैर कानूनी होता है, अनलॉफुल होता है. ठीक है. Pooch. Pooch is देसी शराब, मतलब जहाँ पे लोकली बन रही है, नॉट द ब्रांडेड वन. घरेलू, जिसे हम बूटलेग लिकर या मोनशाइन भी बोलते हैं. Okay, then drudgery is parishram, where some kind of hardship, toil, and the person has no life. Okay, they just want, it's monotonous, it's very hard on someone, that kind of hardship. So if you people are working hard, it's not drudgery. But then if there is someone who is stuck in the same cycle, no respite, no break, nothing, no hope, that is drudgery. Bootleggers are those people who are selling fake liquor, smugglers, traffickers of liquor. Okay. Pilfer is a word that means चुराया गया. Pilfer usually ना skimming होती, छोटा छोटा वाला skimming, पढ़ने वाला भी वाला नहीं. तो थोड़ा थोड़ा लेते जाओगे तो पता नहीं चलेगा कि चला गया. That kind of thing is pilfer. Nexus is the link, connection, the joining point. Okay. Downstream use is industrial application. Okay, industry level पे जो होता है. Anything elusive is difficult to obtain, evasive है, उसको पकड़ पाना, उसको find out करना और prove करना difficult है. That kind of a thing is elusive. Sometimes it could be a situation, it could be a thing hard to prove, तो उसे elusive कहा जाएगा. Dyad is pair of two, duo. Okay, duo को हम अब बोलते हैं डांस duo, singing duo. Likewise dyad को duo बोला जाता है. Unscrupulous is immoral, no principle, कोई ईमान नहीं, as I told you, so बेईमान. Respite means a break, a relief, a pause from something negative. Okay. राहत. Conviction is guilty verdict. Prohibition laws are the laws here in the passage. They were the laws related to ban of liquor. Class B poison I explained already. Controlled toxic substance, it's something that is available. You may say अगर toxic है तो available क्यों है market में? It is a controlled substance. That's why it's available for industries. Systemic is system related. Institution में, system में, structure में अगर related to something है तो वो systemic, systematic नहीं, systemic issues होते हैं. Now I want you to answer some questions. Part of speech of this word. It's adverb. Familiar, but in a very grim manner it is familiar. So pattern is noun, familiar is adjective, grimly is adverb. Okay? Same sentence, you need to give me subject and verb. Main subject and verb. Often described in media reports as whatever. The recurring. So often described verb third form is beginning my sentence. यहाँ तक कोई subject. The recurring incidents. This is the noun जिसके बारे में मेन बात हो रही which is plural. अभी incidents किसके हैं? Across कहाँ हैं? They follow a familiar pattern. So such incidents follow a familiar pattern. Yes, familiar follow is the main word जो कि plural के according चल रहा है. Okay. Subject and verb of this sentence. Next is the subject is the verb. One last question from here. Part of speech of the encircled word. It's a noun. Yeah. Otherwise, we will just move to. Okay. Uh, there is something I want to just tell you, teach you. Now, this sentence says the Poison Act may add teeth to the prosecution's case. Adding teeth to something is giving a rule, a law, a policy, actual power. Okay, so here with respect to the case, it can help. This act can add technicality power to the prosecution's case. Okay, so we will quickly see the summary. So the tone is critical and urgent. Author is criticizing what is happening and he's mentioning all the negatives, the loopholes, and it is an urgent thing to be taken care of. Theme is that illicit liquor deaths reflect not only lapses with respect to law enforcement but also deeper structural failures. Structural failures में poverty, economic deprivation is poverty, systemic corruption, policy vacuum. So ये सारे reasons हैं, theme ये है. Now the core message or the short way main message is that recurring huge tragedies expose a criminal nexus. It's happening again and again. So such tragedies, they are actually pointing out that there is some kind of collaboration going on between bootleggers and authorities. There is no good regulation of methanol transport, and there is a need of a central policy framework. Lasting prevention must go beyond arrest. It should work on socio-economic reforms. We need to teach, we need to educate, we need to make sure that the victim or the buyers are well informed. Question number 1. According to the editorial, what is the key reason why methanol is commonly used in spirits liquor? It is easily accessible and closely resembles ethanol. Answer is C. Which of the following best describe the lawmaker enforcer dyad in the editorial? So, the joint responsibility of politicians and police to uphold law. Lawmaker and enforcer is the police, politician. So, unka joint dyad means they are a pair. And this should be easy. Please don't take a lot of time for this one. It's the Poison Act. Why does the editorial argue for a central framework to regulate cross-border transport and prevent pilferage of methanol? Okay, this mistake, it's from an old movie, you may not know. Innocent mistake. Answer to this one is again, which structural issue is not directly blamed? That is climate change. Today we have really good error detection. I wish to see you people passing all the questions with flying colors. Answer to this one is E. The illicit liquor tragedy, where in Punjab, tragedy has once again highlighted what? The systemic gaps. Highlighted gaps. Adjective systemic. Gaps where? In monitoring. Monitoring what? Distribution. Kiska? Chemical but hazardous chemical. Where? Across the structure. Which structure? Country ka federal structure. No error. T apostrophe? No, the structure is of country, right? That's why apostrophe S is perfect here. And one answer is D. Okay. Bootleggers often plural dilute what? Methanol without understanding it's because methanol is singular, its toxicity resulting in what? Mass incidents, poisoning incidents, type of incidents हो गया. प्लूरल है तो अफेक्ट आएगा यहाँ पर. दिस इज द रिलेटिव प्रोनाउन. दिस इज एंटीसीडेंट ऑफ इट. सो इट शुड बी इन अग्रीमेंट विद द वर्ब. दैट्स व्हाई प्लूरल के लिए अफेक्ट आएगा. Disproportionately is adverb. Good to go. The poor, the with adjective talking about the whole class, whole category of poor people. Because of the topic of error detection, unfortunately, that is a part which has never changed in the history of these exams. In one form or the other, RCs and errors have been asked, so you will have to game up. Just try to learn from the practice sets here. Try to see the problem, no, why people don't do good in this topic, because people just learn the theory, students learn the theory and they forget they have to learn to apply those rules as well. Just keep practicing. एक बार theory हो जाता है, so try to now apply those rules, see how they are used in a sentence, how to spot them in case they are wrong, what should be the right thing, वो भी पता होगी तभी तो you will be confidently able to mark. So practice will help you a lot. Right kind of practice. Third one. Despite arrests under various है तो plural आएगा. The rate in illicit liquor cases, rate continues बिल्कुल सही to remain low due to what? Due to poor enforcement and weak evidence chain. There is no direct or indirect comparison, and first reason is mentioned in positive degree of adjective. तो कि ये weaker क्यों है यहाँ पे? With the evidence change, there is no requirement of comparative degree. Weak will come. अब होता क्या है? Like for when we do the theory में you learn weak, weaker, weakest होता है. You learn that अगर weaker आया तो then आएगा अगर direct comparison है. You learn that we use the before superlative degree. But how it is used actually in a statement, उसका जो action है वो बहुत ही different हो जाता है. That's why you need to keep practicing after you are done with your theory course of grammar at least once. So you should do properly. But then after that, continue with daily practice of grammar along with reading and vocab. There is currently no central legislation that comprehensively governs methanol trade. Okay, so legislation है तो for that legislation that governs, it is in agreement V1 along with S, or ensures parallelism will be followed here, ensures interstate accountability over its distribution to what? To industrial entities. Okay, so distribution to someone, distribution to a company, to a setup. So it could be anything. बाकी कहीं पे issue नहीं है. Ensures आएगा with S. Last one. You want me to explain fourth one again, Abhishek? Please let me know. Okay, so it's subject word agreement issue, but the subject is antecedent here. No legislation, which is singular, legislation that governs or ensures, okay, any kind of. So ensures आना था parallelism के according, okay. Whenever you have or, whenever you have and, whenever there is even or in some cases, you have to follow the parallelism. Check at least once for the balance. Fifth one, the answer is A. Now, when you say few without any article, okay, that means you are actually talking about no one. एक भी नहीं है यहाँ पे. So while the police suspended no officers at all, that won't make any sense. And that's the reason we have to use a few. Okay, the correct way to say not many of them, a few. So while the police suspended a few officers for negligence in doing what? In controlling. So in with gerund, controlling is gerund here. It's absolutely correct. the larger methanol syndicates often remain outside the reach of prosecution. Now, why larger is correct here? Because this is an understood comparison that the bigger ones, the larger ones, most of them often they are the ones they are out of reach, outside the reach of prosecution. The smaller ones are there जो छोटे comparatively वो पकड़ाई में आ जाते हैं. So that's why larger in this case, in this sentence makes sense. It gives meaning to the context. Okay. So for negligence ends है for के बाद noun है, so it's not a problem. अगर neglecting होता तो भी सही होता, but why to use it ना, when I have a noun and I can use it. ठीक है? Is this clear to all of you? Chalo. So we are done here. Wish you a very happy, easy, relaxing Sunday. I'll meet you now on Monday, 1:30 p.m. EPFO practice session here, and then 8 p.m. again. Okay? Few, no one. Okay. So few का concept देख लो. Few means we don't want to talk about it in a negative way, but it means negative. It means no or none. Okay. So when I say few, few words are said on this. That means actually there was something negligible. कुछ भी नहीं बोला. There was not even one word that was said. So instead of saying in a negative manner, we choose to use few without a and the, any article. When I say a few, now this means थोड़ा सा तो है. So a few students were confused. That means maybe 2 or 3 students. Number, it was not a big number, and that's why a few. And then comes the few. This means few with respect to something. The few learners who attended the class were very happy with the performance. So, out of those who attended the class, okay, let's say out of 100, the few means 10 of them, 20 of them out of 100. That's why in front of 100 it looks a small number. They were happy with the performance. So this is the difference of few, a few, and the few. Maybe someday later I'll take you deeper into it, but as of now I hope that helps. Okay? Chalo, time for me to